Welcome to the Seriously podcast. I'm your host, Annaliese. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the Seriously podcast, where we make light of serious conversations with really interesting people. This week, we are speaking to Rose Oates. Rose is a body acceptance and self-worth advocate, as well as an influencer, wife, and mum of 4 beautiful girls. Having close to 30,000 Instagram followers, Rose inspires women to love the raw, unedited version of themselves and encourages everyone, no matter who they are, to see their worth at any stage of life. It was so great to catch up and talk about all things body image, self-worth, and her life behind Instagram. Here's our chat. Welcome back to the Seriously podcast. This week, we have welcomed in the studio Rose Oates.
Hey, Annaliese. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. I'm so happy that you're here. Firstly, Rose, you've worked with clients like Priceline, Infamous Swim, and Emma Mattress. And every time I go out with you, someone recognises you, like they are so excited. You do have that fame element about you. Like I remember when I first met you and I was like, oh my God, I'm a little bit intimidated in a good way.
Oh my God. I never think of myself like that. So it's weird hearing someone say that. So when someone says to me, oh, I don't want to come up to you, I'm like, whoa.
Really? Does it happen a lot though?
It does happen a lot considering. Like I just think of myself as just like, I don't know, just an everyday Joe. And yeah, it does. I suppose Perth is small.
Yeah.
And I've lived here my whole life. So yeah. I don't know. So I'm like, I'm awkward now.
Yeah, you've got a massive fan base. So you've got nearly 30,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah.
You have your own blog. And also you're just an all-round amazing chick. But like, has the Instagram success been quick? Or do you think it's been like a slow rise to success?
I think it's probably been like a slow but steady rise, and probably why I didn't understand at first what it was sort of all about. So I think I got to 10,000 followers and I was like, I was like, yeah, cool, that's great. But I didn't really have a concept of what it could do for me or where it could go. And then growing it, sometimes that can get overwhelming. Obviously, you're getting paid now and, you know, you've got responsibility and people put a lot of, you know, shit on you. Like they're like, oh, you know, you should be funding this and putting a voice to this and that. And you're like, whoa. So it has been a slow burn and a learning journey at the same time. So
can you remember the first client that you worked with?
First client.
Like your first paid client?
You know, I don't know if I can.
Oh, really?
I can't remember my first paid client. That sounds bad. You start with I started with the gifting, and I did a lot of small business because it was important to me, and a lot of them, you know, they want to put their name out there, but they don't have the funds, and I was happy to do it. And a lot of the times I was already buying from these places, or I feel like that's what the original influencer did. They used the product, they brought it with their own money, and then they spoke about it. And I suppose that's how I started and grew, because I would say I buy 98% of the stuff that I talk about.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And when we've hung out, I've seen you wear the clothes that you actually buy, like you actually go in and buy them yourself.
Yeah.
Which people are so shocked about when you're an influencer. So can you take me back to life before being Rose Oates the brand? Because you were a PT.
Yeah. I started PTing when I was 18. So I've done a lot of jobs, I think, during my time. I've been a PT since I was 18, loved it, loved sport, very heavily into like sport. And I thought that was going to be my path. I thought I was going to go to the Olympics, and, you know, I had a completely different path in my head. And then next minute I'm a mum. Okay. And, you know, life happens. I suppose there was so much happening, so much I've done in the past. I do interiors. I owned a small business for 5 years, had a home decor online business, and that's really where I started Instagram and how I understood it.
Like the aesthetic side of it, because I've seen your early Instagram pics and they're very like home styling. You just get it. Like I can't do that. I don't know how people do that. Like you have a skill for it.
That's how I got into Instagram. So when I built my homewares business, I built it from the scratch. Like I did the Shopify myself, the website myself. I learned everything. I did a social media course thinking, oh, this will be great, You know what I mean? I don't have heaps of funds for marketing and all of this stuff. So I learned how to build a social media following, and I launched after I built the following. So I basically just had a page going, and then I launched the brand, and I sold out in my first week.
Wow.
So it was insane, but I also didn't understand the power of social media till that week, and then I was completely unprepared for it, and so that was a journey in itself.
So what was the product you sold out of?
I sold my whole store. My whole store sold out in the first week. So it was
This is Rose's effect on people, by the way.
So I had homewares and decor. So I just curated art and decor pieces and, just small things that I loved and I thought that was going to be a great build to the home. Just anything that I could ship out. So I had to work out how to ship everything. So it was like small rugs and cushions and all of that. And I just really didn't think I was going to sell out in the first week, but then realised the power of Instagram, the power of social media and Facebook. So I never paid for any advertising.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
At all. It was all done through socials. And then once I sold the business after 5 years, I continued. So I had clients that were like, well, can you do my home? Can you source this product for me, Rose? Or can you get me wholesale for this, that and the other? And that's where the home styling and staging came in that I am still doing to this day. And also how I learned about Instagram, and people were saying, oh, can you run my business Instagram for me?
Oh, so you're doing some management as well.
Yeah. So at the time it wasn't even called that. I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it for like $100 a week, whatever. Like I'll do it for, I had no idea. So started that, and I think, why not start my own? So I started putting a little bit more time into my own Instagram for the personal side, and that's where it kind of grew. So there's a whole backstory behind how it came to be.
And you post very uplifting and relatable content, especially it's very mum-centric.
Yeah.
And when you had your first few kids, because your kids have an age gap.
Yeah.
Can you firstly tell us, what is the age gap with your kids? How many you have? I've already said 4, but I know you have a stepson as well.
I do. So Craig became a young dad at 19. So I was a stepmom straight away. So I was 20 when I met Craig. And so he is 23 now? 23? Oh, my God.
I thought you meant Craig.
No. My stepson. So I have a stepson and I have 4 daughters. So I've got Indy, Scarlett, Octavia and Esme. So they are 15 in September, 12 and a half, 3 and a half and 2 and a half. There is a big age gap, but life happens.
Yeah.
In between.
So how big is that? Is that like 8 years?
But yeah, there is a big age gap, but a lot of stuff happened in between. So
yeah. Because like being a mom, like I always look at your page and I always think you're very successful. You have a very big manager who's on the East Coast. You're very well known and you have kids and you have a lot going on. How do you do it all? Like,
there is no like secret formula. I think it's hard having one kid. Some mums come to me and go, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Like I've just got one and I can't cope, and you've got 4. And I'm like, no, don't underestimate yourself. Like one is hard. One wants you 24/7. They are at you. They only have you. And I think a couple, they kind of help each other, entertain each other to a point. I do also have the big age gap, which a lot of people judge. Why? Does it make a difference? In fact, for me, does really help. So the older 2 can help a little bit more. They're self-sufficient. They come with their own set of problems. Like I've got teenagers and toddlers, guys. It is hard. It is full on. But I think doing it all, it isn't. No one does it all. I never do it all. So when I'm excelling in my career on Instagram, I've got all my collaborations going all at once. Obviously my family life and my home life is going to be taking a hit. And when I'm doing all the mum things, I'm at the sport and the swimming and doing all the lunches and doing all the good stuff, my career and my work is taking a hit. So it's not about doing it all. It's about the weird balance. It's a weird balance. Like I don't ever believe in true balance. And I've said this before and written about it before. Balance is about, for me in life, that sometimes one thing's going to take up more of your time and one thing's going to whatever's priority at the moment is going to take up more of that time. And it's totally fine. We beat ourselves up so much overthinking, I'm not getting this done at work, and then I'm a crap mum, and you're trying to be the best mum and the best at work and the best freaking partner and, having sex and looking hot and going to the gym. You know what? We can't do it all at once, but we can have it all, just not at the same time.
That's like very much of like how I've been taught, like the 80-20 rule. Like when you go to work, you should only work as hard as 80%.
Yep.
Because that's what everyone else is giving. That other 20, they're taking lunch breaks, they're taking coffee break, they're taking a smoke break. That's kind of like the same thing. And I feel like as an influencer and as a mum, like you do need help, being open to help.
Yep.
Because like, for example, for me as well, like I couldn't do this without my partner's help.
Exactly.
And like that's the thing. And a lot of people think, oh, they make it look so easy, like we're paid to do that.
Yep. It's our job as well. So
yeah,
which sometimes at home makes it even harder because I'm trying to juggle my work and my job and being a parent. And I think this is also a thing that I'm really, really passionate about is online is not real. Mm-hmm. Even me, even you, what we see is what we want to give. Mm-hmm. Even the pain, the people that are like putting their pain points up all the time or their best points up all the time, you're only seeing 80, not even, maybe you're only seeing the 10% of what they want you to see.
Yes.
The rest is behind the scenes. You know what? I say ask for as much help as you can get. I never used to.
Oh, really?
No,
so it's a new thing.
I'm still terrible at it.
Oh, really?
I'm still terrible asking for help, but I become burnt out. So I go into a cycle of burnouts. So I want to do it all. I wanted to be that person that did it all, have it all together and can do it on her own. So a sense of pride maybe from growing up, I think.
Yeah, but it does take an army of help. Like even for my life, and I don't even have kids, I do a lot of stuff and it's because I have help. I outsource a cleaner, things like that you can't do everything.
And I think that's the best thing. And you've learned earlier than me. Outsourcing, buying the robo-vac. I got myself a robo-vac. All those stupid things that, they make a difference. That takes out like 15, 20 minutes of my day instead of me coming home and looking at my floors and trying to procrastinate because that's a thing I do as well. I'm like, I better sweep the floor instead of doing what I need to do. And I love that you learned it earlier than me.
Yeah, I have learned it early. Can we talk about body image?
We can.
So, I'm a plus size model. Mm-hmm. So I'm very confident in my own skin, but I've had my ups and downs as we all do.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of my body issues in my adult life have stemmed from childhood.
Yep.
Do you relate to that at all? Like, can you take me back to your childhood? Have you had body image issues or like, because you promote body acceptance?
Yeah.
What is that like for you when you were younger?
I think most of our body image issues, this is just personal, come from our childhood. People DMing me, talking, conversations with a lot of people, and I've been a PT for like many, many, many years. Body image does not affect one body type, one gender, nothing. Like it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're big or whether you're small, body image affects people. And often it starts from young. I definitely relate to it starting young because being in a family that is male dominated as well. I have a beautiful family, everything like that, but things were different for the boys and the girls, and girls should dress a certain way compared to the boys, and girls have certain roles, blah, 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 blah. And then going into school, the dress sense, seeing magazines. So I grew up with like Dolly magazine, Cosmos, all of that sort of stuff. Everything was airbrushed. Everything was based around our appearance. Everything was, what can the woman do for the guy? How can we lose 5 kilos in 10 days? So you take that in and you take it in young. You know what I mean? So also being in the fitness industry and in sport, when I was doing high-level sport, it was not as like monitored. So if you needed to lose weight to run faster, get it done.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't as, nutritionally packed. There wasn't people coaching you for that side of things. And obviously when you are really high in sport, you're often starting quite young. Mm-hmm. All of that affects you and you take it on board. Along with trauma, I think for me, I've taken some of that trauma and used it against my body. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, body acceptance is a huge pain point for me. It is a huge passion of mine. I never want people to feel the way I felt, and this is why I started doing what I did.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask a few things about high-level sport that you just brought up.
Yep.
So can you tell everyone what sport you were doing? And I want to ask at that level, even though it's meant to be about performance, does it become in a way about aesthetics as well?
Absolutely.
Like that's what I want to know because I see it all the time with swimmers and gymnasts and runners.
Dancers, yeah.
They're very attractive. They're very fit.
Yeah.
Like where's the line?
It becomes part of your identity. So I played basketball and then started running and triathlon, had a coach for that, was really, really doing quite well, quite successful. But yes, so you do take it as, it becomes a part of who you are. Mm-hmm. So, and the body comes a part of that, a part and parcel with that. And I think as well, going into PT after I leave school at roughly around that same time, oh my God, how old am I now? I'm 38 now. Mm-hmm. I was 18 at the time. That's quite a few years ago now. Mm-hmm. When you went into that profession, it was all about aesthetics. Your body was your business card.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So as a PT, and even now, the PTs online, the PTs, the influencers, the fit influencers or whatever, they are looked at for their body. There's pressure there. So if you don't look good, how are you supposed to tell me how to lose weight? How are you supposed to get my body in shape if you can't get yours in? I remember one of my, I was at work one day and one of my mentors came in to where I worked at the gym and said to my boss, do your PTs work out? Oh. Referring to me.
What?
Because for some reason, and I was very fit, I had bloody abs at the time.
Yeah.
My boss decided to tell me that. He's like, oh, you can use the gym anytime. Yeah.
You're like, I do. I'm here every day.
I was like, I'm here every day.
I literally work here. I'm fit.
I am fit, but I was also, remember, body types are also fashionable. So through the decades, you've seen there's different body types. Like when I was growing up, it was like Kate Moss, stick thin. You did not want a booty. You didn't want muscle. You didn't want a muscle. You didn't. Now, then there became Kim Kardashian. Everyone wants a small waist, a big ass. They're doing squats for days. I was like, I'm in fashion now. I was like, honey.
I'm suddenly in fashion.
Oh my God, my booty's in fashion. So, yeah, aesthetics are part of that part and parcel of, they become an identity thing. So in my sport, definitely pressure there. In my job, huge amount of pressure. And yeah, it stemmed from there. My body issues grew. It was fostered, it festered up and got worse then.
I can relate because I started modelling like very young and it's a similar thing with sport, I feel. But can I ask you about like right now?
Yeah.
Because you're you're a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
You're always online, like posting about your life and yourself, as am I, and a lot of influencers. Do you ever feel pressure to look a certain way now? Or are you just like, this is me? Like,
oh, a lot of that has gone.
Okay.
I'm really comfortable.
I love that.
Getting online, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel it sometimes still. Mm-hmm. I'd absolutely be lying to you. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if you're in the same boat. Like occasionally do you just get that little... Oh.
All the time. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I know. Let's be real.
I think if you work with in the public eye and you're always presenting your image, you're probably more insecure than the normal person.
Yeah.
Than the average person who doesn't do that. Because you're constantly critiquing your look.
because you're
You have to.
constantly having to look at it as
You
well.
have to. And I get sick of looking at myself. I'm like, oh, go away. You're
I
not
don't
interested.
want to hear myself. I don't even want to hear my own voice. This is making me like you see yourself but yeah, it definitely crops up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there are some days where I feel so good and I'm just like shaking it because I know we've all got wobbles and jiggles and stretch marks or whatever it is for you. But at the same time, there are days where I still have poor body image days. I'm like human. I might try some jeans on and I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like, and it gets to me. Or I see myself online and I cringe. And that's just a part of me that I'm still working through. And I've never lied about that. I think it's a journey. I hate saying that, but like it's a journey. It is. It's going to be work in progress. Like you can't undo years and years of society's freaking pressure. And it's still there today. There's so much pressure on women especially and our appearance and our bodies and to do it all like we were talking about before.
And with saying that, I want to ask, you've spoken a lot about mental health. We've spoken about it personally in person. I want to ask, how are you doing personally, and what is your reasoning for being open with mental health online?
Because we got to break taboos about bodies, about mental health. It's not something that's just cropped up. It's not a new thing. Hundreds and hundreds of people suffer with it, yet they feel alone because we're not talking about it, because we're not making it, we're not normalizing it. It happens. Every one of us knows someone that's dealt with mental health in some capacity. You and I both. I love talking about it, even though it's hard, like, because I feel it's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm a human. I'm navigating life. I'm going to have things crop up. I don't know how to deal with them. And sometimes even when I'm talking about them online, it doesn't mean I know how to deal with them. It doesn't even mean I have dealt with them.
Yeah.
I've gone to therapy.
Yeah. So you are in therapy?
Yeah.
How do you like it?
I'm loving it.
Okay.
I mean, I cry nearly every time. And then I get nervous going still. Every time I get nervous. But it has been such a weight off my shoulders and also so eye-opening. So I've discovered a lot of things about myself. And it's just a way to learn why you are the way you are and learn techniques and almost not to blame yourself. Like, it's just like, it's fine. Let's move forward, how we can work through this. So it's been really good.
So we were just talking off air and Rose just opened up to me that she has recently been diagnosed with ADHD. So
I'm going to laugh.
how does it feel to have the diagnosis?
I
so raw and
actually cried when it all came out. And I think I cried in relief. He actually asked me, he said, how do you feel now that you know this? And when he said that, I couldn't get any words out, which is unusual, and I cried. It felt relieving to know that the way I have struggled in the past, a lot of my anxiety issues have been stemmed from what I have, from having ADHD and not knowing how to cope with it and thinking that I'm not normal and that I'm unproductive. And it also leads for me, because women are diagnosed so differently.
Oh, okay.
So, and it often doesn't crop up for us. We can go undetected for years. So like I'm 38 years old. I had no idea. I didn't even think that I could be. I'm like, oh, I'm not hyperactive. I was a good kid. I got good grades. I'm been successful in my life. I'm very clean and organized. But women also present differently. So I'm very busy in my mind. My head does not switch off. I cannot relax. I can't stop thinking about stuff. I'll get up at 3 a.m. in the morning and start writing something just to get it out of my brain. The reason I organize and have such a clean house is because it's a way I regulate. I need to see something that's if I like doing it as well. So if I love doing something, I can do it. I can finish the task. If I find it boring, I'll procrastinate and try to mop the floors. Like, that's why I got brave. And also women are really good at masking. We mask things really well, and we learn to be the good girl. It's impolite. See, I use my hands a lot. It's not just because I'm Italian. It's also because I fidget. And so I used to be hyper aware of that. It used to embarrass me, and I used to hold on to my knee. And it's also why I used to like pick my fingers so that I wasn't doing something so large. And it's just all of those things. It was just super relieving to know what it was. And now I can move forward and sort of work with, how do I regulate? How do I feel better? And also knowing that it's okay to do things different. I still get the same result, but my path is not linear like others are. And I used to beat myself up for that. I used to be so hard on myself. I still am. I'm still struggling with not being hard on myself. And it also, for me, it presents as perfectionism.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
So yeah, a lot of women can have this level of perfectionism that have ADHD. So they're striving for it because there's other things in their life that they don't know how to control. So, and also if I love it, I'm going to try to be perfect at that, because that's one thing I'm really good at. You know, and there's things like I held myself back from. So I haven't gone and studied further, and I haven't gone and done this because I'm so scared that I won't be able to finish or I won't be able to concentrate. But I never knew why.
Wow. That must be a revelation.
It was huge for me. And that's why even just starting your journey on, not necessarily, you don't even have to do traditional therapy. If you start with, you know, I don't know what it is for you, meditation or yoga, or, you know, getting a life coach or speaking to a friend that's really going to listen, talking to your GP, that's all been a path to get to therapy. And from therapy, I've had this diagnosis, and honestly, it's been life-changing already.
How many days ago did you get diagnosed?
I got diagnosed a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
So it's fresh. It's very fresh.
And you haven't even told like your socials or anything?
No. So this is the first time I've publicly spoken about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I love you. You're very open and honest, and it's a safe space. Mm-hmm. And this is, I do practice what I preach. I think it's important to be open and honest, and that your vulnerability is not something to be ashamed of. It's actually a superpower. So as soon as you get vulnerable with people, you're going to open yourself up. You're going to allow yourself to heal, but you're also going to attract the right people into your life, because you're being your true self.
Thank you for being so open and honest and vulnerable in this chat. Can I ask? Can I ask if people are feeling like they might have ADHD or be on the spectrum at any point, what is the right way to go about looking into getting diagnosed? Like, where would they start, for example?
Honestly, yeah, you've got to start at your GP.
Yep.
They give you referral to, and they might even give you, I think you're eligible for 6 subsidised sessions. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, is I know that's not always affordable for everybody, but if you can, and it's, you know, in your means, definitely start at your GP, get your sessions, have some therapy done, and then you can go from there. They'll lead you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being so honest about that. I want to go into relationships. So you've been married to your husband, Craig, for, is it 18 years?
Yeah. Oh, we've been together 18 years, yeah.
Wow. So how long have you been married for?
We've been married for, Indy's 15, so 14 years. Mm-hmm. My God.
And he isn't in the public eye.
No.
He appears on your Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you have a very couple goals relationship, but he's not in the public eye. He's like my partner, like the more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which suits their personality.
Yeah.
What does he think about Instagram and like navigating this journey with you?
Craig. Well, Craig only probably got Facebook and Instagram like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So he really, yeah, so I've had it for all these years and I've just been doing my thing and he's like, she's just scrolling on the internet, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He jumps on because it's a lot of fun most of the time. So I'll do a little script or a skit and I'll be like, hey, do you want to do this with me? And he's like, what do I have to do? Because he's not so into social media and he's not like, he doesn't truly understand it. He does a little bit more now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He just found it fun.
Okay, yeah.
And it was also a way to show a side of Craig that is truly him. Because I think when you put your partner on, on like you try to get a photo with them for God's sakes, they're like awkward. So doing these fun little skits and things like that showed off a side of his personality that is truly us as well. And we end up having a really good time.
Because doesn't he have like a super serious like corporate job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Craig has like, this is who Craig is, his other side of Craig. He is in super corporate job in WA. He's a very high senior manager and he doesn't get a time to just be goofy Craig. So yeah, he understands Instagram for my side of things too. He's really supportive and you need that. And he doesn't take it too seriously. He really doesn't.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I want to ask as well, because you do a lot of funny couples reels, a lot of people would look up to you too and think your couple goals. Like, and we've even talked about it in our own friendship group. One of our friends said, I wish my husband did that with me, kind of thing. Like, and in a long-term relationship, there is seasons. Do you still find that, like, being in such a long-term relationship that you do... Is there still times of like seasonal, like ups and downs?
Absolutely.
Because I'm only 2 years into my relationship and we've had like
get ready,
50
baby
seasons.
girl. Get ready. Get ready for the roller coaster that is being in a long-term relationship. Mate, as long as there's love,
yes,
and there's friendship,
yes.
So you know what? It's okay to be besties.
We're best friends, yeah.
You know when people say, he's my best friend, it's not like your best girlfriend or best bestie. Like, that's a completely different thing. But you do have to be really good mates because...
Is that the secret to your marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be friends in the weird way that you're just friends, but you do...
You want to have sex with them pretty much.
Yeah, you still want to be having sex. You're still lovers. You're besties with benefits, mate. But
it's the benefits.
It's exactly right. But... Look, lust fades. So that first falling in love, like overwhelming, can't wait, get tickles in your pants from kissing them. You know what I mean? That's going to fade, bitches. Like, I hate to break it to you. So what you're left with is what's important. We've been together a long time, definitely seasons. Like, we had kids, and I remember that mainly after we had Indy, which is our first daughter, I crashed and burned. Like, my body changed. I was bigger than I ever was. I was on maternity leave. I've worked full time. I was in sport. All of a sudden, all gone. Craig worked away. I didn't want everything changed for us. In that first year after she was born, our relationship was so far removed from what it was. I was scared for him. I was scared for me. I was scared being a mum. And yeah, definitely seasons. But you do come out of it. And I used to be embarrassed to say that, like, I still am madly in love with him and I love him more than I did when I first met him.
Really?
Yeah. And I used to be embarrassed about it because I was embarrassed to say that our relationship is okay. It's almost like the opposite taboo. Like, if you have a good relationship, you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But if you have a shit one or you're having problems, you can. Mm-hmm. It's okay to talk about both sides. We do not have a perfect marriage by any stretch of the imagination, but that's fine. Like, it's manageable. It's good. We have our ups and downs. We argue, but we have a lot of fun. And it is important to still put effort in. It's important. Like,
like with effort, how do you keep the spark alive? I'm asking for a friend. I'm just asking for myself. I get embarrassed saying, I've been with my partner 2 years, but we have seasons already. Like, because we moved in after 3 months.
Mate.
So I'm just like, I know him like the back of my hand.
Exactly.
So like, For the future, how do I keep the spark alive?
The sparkle up. Toys.
Yep, tried that.
It's not just that. It's about just being okay with the mundane. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking about Instagram, I think we look at people's lives from the other side of the fucking fence. Like we're looking over the fence and go, their backyard's so nice. I want to pull. Their grass looks greener.
The grass always looks greener until you get there. It's really not.
You know what? The grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
So sometimes some relationships are shit. Just get the hell out of there, you know?
Yeah, and you know deep down if it is.
Absolutely.
But you also know deep down if it's healthy for you.
If it's worth it. If you want to be in a long-term relationship, like I think you do have to work. You do have to set time aside. So me and Craig have always had date nights once a week.
Really?
Every week. Obviously life happens. There's going to be weeks that we don't do it, but we miss it. So there'll either be like movie night. So Friday night is a no cook night. Doesn't matter for how long. We don't cook on a Friday. I clean. I love the house being perfectly clean on a Friday and we don't cook and we do movies.
I love that.
With the kids and us, and we sit down and we chill. Showers are a thing that we do. This is so weird.
That's so nice.
It was so gross at first. I was like, ew, he wants to shower with me all the time.
What man doesn't want to shower with a woman?
All the time. He would just be like, are you having a shower?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, he'd be like, why don't you wait for me? And I'd be like, what is going on? Eventually, when he would have a shower with out me, I'd be like, what are you doing? I actually missed
shower
it.
envy.
So now that we've got such a busy household, it became a time it's like 10 minutes to be together.
That's very true.
So, and we've got 4 kids, so we lock all the doors and we literally have a shower and we're chatting and we have a hug. I'm not even kidding. Every night. And it's just a quick download where no one else is like busting our chops or wanting something. Well, they are. They're usually knocking on the door, whatever. But I kid you not, it's 10 minutes of your day that you just get that time together. And it's not a lot, but it's just enough. And like sometimes this happened actually the other week, and I was saying to a girlfriend, I was so angry that Craig didn't get up for one of the kids. And I was in my bed. She was screaming. He heard. I know he didn't kind of want to get up because he was so tired. And I was tired and I was seething in my bed. I was like sitting.
As we do.
I was laying there like, get up. I was like, I don't want to get up either. Anyway, I had this full mini argument in my head with him over 2 minutes. Ended up and calmed myself down. Have you ever had a fight with your partner where you have had a fight with them and they haven't come home and you've also forgiven them and they've come home and nothing and you don't even have a fight because you've had the full fight with them in your head?
No, never.
Oh my God, I've had them a million times. Like I have a full argument and then I'm like, nah, he's fine. Like, that's what happened in 2 minutes. And I thought to myself, if we were dating, I don't know why this popped into my head, and I thought if we were still dating, would I have just gotten up?
Yeah, probably.
Yep. If I was dating and I was like those first few months or those first year that we were together, would I have just gone out and put the bin out?
Interesting. So it's the effort aspect.
It is. It's like, hold on. It's different if they're lazy, if they're a lazy son of a bitch. It's different, but he's not. So I went up, I got Esme, calmed her down, patted her, came back. He was like, oh, thanks so much. He goes, I was absolutely exhausted. Like he even thanked me. And I was like, we just avoided a whole argument because I was about to start one. Because of the fact that I just did it. I went, you know what? It's not a big deal. I just literally sat down. It wasn't like I'd already half fallen asleep like he had. It's the same with like the few dishes in the sink. Mm-hmm. If they're not done out of nothing of that is usually done out of spite. I'm just going to do them. But I could have started an argument. So sometimes things like that, like just going back and going, you know what? It's not a big deal.
Like pick your fights.
Pick your battles, mate. Pick your battles.
I'm learning that. I mean, I'm only 27.
Yeah.
So I've
got 10 years on you.
I know. I need to learn.
It's fine. Yeah, just pick your battles and make sure the ones that you really want to win are worth.
I always win. What do you mean?
Happy wife, happy life. Like Craig's a chill dude and I'm a hyper And
Yeah.
he balances, it's communication too. Like I've had to explain a lot of things. Like I used to assume he knew what I was thinking. Like most women, we just look at them and like, don't you know?
They don't. They
don't.
don't think the same.
Once,
and I've learnt, I grew up with men as well. So my mum was always like, Annaliese, you have to train them. And I thought, I'm not going to train a guy. And then Tyler walked in. And I love him and he's so good. But I'm like, babe, pick your towel up off the floor.
And they're not like, they don't see it as a big deal.
No, they don't.
It's not malicious.
And we don't see what they see as a big deal.
Yeah.
Like when he goes out of his way to pick me up or when he goes out of his way to do, like, bring me dinner. I would never do that for him. Oh, I would.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. No, I'm the same. I'm like, there's certain things that I just absolutely wouldn't do for him that he would do for me.
And they get
sort of
so offended.
They do. Whoops. No.
And they just assume that we get it and we don't. And I love the balance of the masculinity and the femininity, but we're exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah. And like Craig said to me once, after we had like resolved an argument, he goes, you know what? If you're not fine, don't say that you are. And he goes, and if you're not, he goes, if you want me to stay with you, even though you're angry, tell me. He's like, if you want something, just tell me. And I was like, oh my God, why is that? So even now when I'm angry, and that's taken training in me, when I'm really angry sometimes and I'm like, I don't want you to leave me. I want you to hug me, but I don't want you to talk to me. And he's like, oh my God, what is going on? But okay, thank you. Or, you know, for my birthday this year, I actually want that bag, that exact bag in green and blah, blah, blah. It's stuff like that. It's not about the present. It's like, if you want something and you want the exact one, instead of just throwing hints and they buy you a vacuum cleaner, just say, that's what I want.
Yep.
And you know what? They're pretty good like that.
Oh, they are. They're very straight to the point. If she wants something, she'll have that exact thing or she would chuck a fit. No, trust me. Tyler's bought me my whole handbag collection, so he knows the drill. Yeah.
Go, Tyler.
So now, I want to talk about your life right now. I want to ask, what do you do to shut off from work and social media, and what do you do for self-care?
I struggle to shut off because I think, and I'll be honest here, like I think if you are working in the online space, the lines get crossed. That work is, you do almost have to be on a lot. So work is, and sharing, I'm sharing my life to a degree, and the way that I share is like the honest and the raw, what I've done today and blah, blah, blah. So at first it was hard. So shutting off is like, just literally, I do lose my phone a lot, which helps because I forget where it is. ADHD, there you go. I'm like, always wonder why. I leave my phone somewhere else. So I might go and sit on the couch with Craig and I'll leave the phone plugged in the room. I'm not taking it to that space, or charging it outside of the room. So I've got to switch off that way. I don't even want to see it. Making time for myself. So like gym, it sounds really silly, but my gym appointments are appointments. So if I go to the gym every day after a drop off from the school run, I don't book anything else around it. I started making appointments for myself that I have to keep, because if I don't, I'd easily fit extra work in, or I'll do something else, and that takes away my self-care. So self-care, I would say, I go hang out with my friends. I go grab a coffee. I love getting a takeaway coffee.
Oh, really? What do you love about it?
I just love good coffee. And then I think I like the act of going out of the house to go get it, to try something, and I'm a coffee snob and I enjoy it. So it's actually, I enjoy coffee.
It's like a leisurely
It's
activity.
leisurely. It's an act. It is an act of self-care and leisure. I love walking. I love being by the ocean. I do that for me, and I do that for like to calm my body down. I find the ocean just really calming, and it helps with my anxiety. So yeah, they're the sort of things I do. Spend a bit of time with the kids, not at a park, because that raises my level of anxiety. That is not self-care for me. I'm sorry. But I will spend time with the kids doing stuff that we find fun together as a fam. So like, you know, going to the beach together, or, you know, I like playing Play-Doh, I'm not going to lie.
Play-Doh's great.
No,
I love the glitter versions.
Don't talk to me about glitter.
You're like trauma response.
Yeah, I've got trauma from Tato. She ate glitter, she's exploded glitter, she's pooped out glitter.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Do you have any personal goals in the next few years for yourself? Like just Rose, the person, not the brand.
Rose the person. I suppose, wow. I suppose that's hard to think about just for me. I suppose I don't often just think about me.
That's why I asked.
Thanks, Anne. Putting me on the spot. For me, I would say there's like I've still got a lot of fitness goals for myself coming from being really fit. I actually miss that part of myself. I love being outside and running and that sense of competitiveness within myself. So definitely want to get back into full running, probably do a half marathon or a full marathon in the next couple of years.
Wow.
For me, I suppose I still want to my personal goals still want to be a part of that brand that is me. I still want to I want to help as many people and as many women feel empowered as I possibly can and just keep going along that and feel like they can open up and talk and just be authentically them. That means huge amounts to me. It fulfills me. It gives me drive. Sounds so cliche, doesn't it? But it really does. I love what I do. So, and I've got 4 daughters. So I want to see them growing up in a world that is, you know, a lot nicer and a lot more equal for them.
I think you do a great job of that. Do you have any last advice for people logging onto social media and comparing themselves to other people?
Shit, just don't. No, it's easier said than done, isn't it? Because we all do it. I do it sometimes as well.
I do it too.
Far out. Wouldn't we be lying? Wouldn't we not be human? Do a social media detox. Clear out anyone that honestly continuously makes you feel crap. Just put them on mute. It'd be funny to say oh, don't get on social media. It's a part of our lives. We're spending hours and hours a day on it. Even if you think you're not, you're consuming all the time now. We've got no choice. This is the way of the world. So protect your space, protect your mental health. You don't compare your life to someone else's because you're only seeing a snippet of it. They're not showing you everything. They're not showing you when they're having a shit day. They're often not showing you the back of that Instagram house where they've shot and it's got they've just pushed all the dirt to the side and they're just showing you that beautiful space with their 4 kids. I love having a clean house too. And most of the time, if I want to show you a room, I'm not going to leave it like a jungle. So a lot of it's not real. Even photo shoots I've been in, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I am a plus size model when I'm modeling. I'm often chosen for campaigns being that I'm a mom. I've had, my body looks a little bit different. People like that. But my body will still look so different in the final images than the way I do in real life. I'll still look smoother. My skin will still look more glowy. The clothes will look brighter. I mean, I definitely love those images, but it's actually still not me. And I'm pretty honest online. So don't compare yourself. We don't even look like we look like online. So yeah, it's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your heart and soul, trust me. And it's only holding you back. So follow people that you trust, that you feel always make you feel good, you're happy to see them. Unfollow shit. Unfollow things that don't look real. Get off the diet culture wagon. It's fine to lose weight. It's fine to be healthy. But if they're preaching crap in your ear, there's so much, isn't there? When we're talking, anyone that's selling you something has another agenda. Take care of yourself. That's important.
That's such a great way to finish the podcast.
Yeah.
Rose, thank you for coming on Seriously.
Thanks for having me. I absolutely loved it.
You've been an amazing guest and I really appreciate you for coming on.
Oh, appreciate you too. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing with this.
Oh, yay. That's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Seriously and we'll see you next week for another interview. Have a great week. Bye.